Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're totally pulling back the curtain on the multi-billion-dollar advertising industry. Whether you're just mindlessly scrolling on your phone, driving down the highway, or binging your favorite show, you are constantly navigating a world that's been meticulously engineered to catch your eye and ultimately shape your behavior. So today, we are going to break down exactly how all that invisible machinery actually works.
Here's our roadmap for getting there. We're going to hit 1, the core of advertising; 2, the art of persuasion; 3, architects of the campaign; 4, funding the message; and wrap it all up with 5, impact, rules, and ethics. All right, let's jump right in.
Starting off with Section 1, the core of advertising. We really need to start at the very beginning and establish exactly what an ad is designed to do to you. Think about it for a second. What actually makes you buy something? Have you ever grabbed a specific brand off the shelf just because, say, a celebrity endorsed it? Or maybe just because it felt like absolutely everyone else had it? Think about your most recent purchase. Was it really a purely logical decision? Or was there maybe an underlying feeling, an image, or just a sudden urge that kind of tipped the scales for you? Well, the absolutely crucial point here is that advertising is never an accident. It isn't just about throwing a catchy name out into the void and hoping it sticks. It's a highly strategic form of marketing communication. The whole goal is to persuade you to take a specific action. That could be buying a product, trying out a new service, or honestly just completely changing how you feel about an idea. It relies on a super calculated, deep understanding of exactly who you are, what you crave, and the competitive landscape that surrounds you. And for businesses, advertising is a total double-edged sword. On one edge, it offers massive benefits. It builds incredible brand awareness, directly spikes revenue, and allows companies to laser target specific demographics with kind of eerie precision. But that other edge, it's sharp. These campaigns are extraordinarily expensive to run. Plus, in our hyper-saturated modern market, consumers literally just tune out a huge percentage of ads anyway. And if the messaging misses the mark even a little bit, it can permanently damage a brand's hard-earned reputation. Moving right along to Section 2, the art of persuasion. Let's open up the psychological toolkit and see how advertisers actually construct these invisible hooks. To actually pull this off and persuade us, the industry uses specific strategies called appeals. These tap right into human emotion and logic. They're basically the secret ingredients, carefully chosen based on the product and the target audience to make sure the brand's message is entirely unforgettable. We're going to look closely at a few of these right now. Take the rational appeal, for instance. This one strictly targets your logic by focusing entirely on objective benefits and facts. Think of a car commercial that highlights fuel efficiency, safety features, and affordability. It's encouraging you to analyze the information, building credibility by throwing statistics and hard data your way. When an advertiser boasts about a 5-star crash test rating, they're trusting your logical brain to do the math and make the right choice. Now, contrast that with a fear appeal. This strategy identifies a severe threat, something like a home invasion, to create immediate anxiety, and then, boom, it positions the product as your only solution. It's an incredibly powerful emotional response. The advertiser creates this deep sense of urgency by showing you the negative consequences of doing nothing. But here's the trick. They don't just leave you scared. They always offer a clear, immediate path to alleviate that anxiety, which, of course, means buying what they're selling. Okay, on a much lighter note, we've got humorous appeals. These aim to just flat out entertain. They take a simple product, like a basic snack food, and put it in a ridiculous or funny scenario to make the brand super likable and approachable. And humor is a fantastic tool for memory retention. If an ad actually makes you laugh out loud, you are way more likely to remember that brand name when you're staring blankly down the grocery store aisle. It cuts right through the noise. And then, of course, there's the classic bandwagon appeal. This one leverages social proof and conformity, basically urging you to join the millions of satisfied customers so you don't get left out. By showing a large, happy group of friends all enjoying a specific soft drink together, the ad subtly implies that this is the accepted, popular thing to do. It taps right into our FOMO, making you feel like you'll be completely out of the loop if you don't conform and buy in. All right, Section 3. Architects of the campaign. Now that we've got a handle on this psychology, we have to ask, who exactly is building these illusions? Well, these illusions are built by advertising agencies, and an agency isn't just one person sitting in a room coming up with a clever tagline. It's a massive, highly specialized ecosystem. You've got account managers talking to the client, researchers diving deep into your behavior, creatives designing the eye-catching visuals, and media buyers ruthlessly negotiating for that perfect billboard or TV slot. Together, this entire team bridges the gap to ensure that persuasive message finds you at the exact right moment. And the whole operation generally unfolds in 3 distinct phases. During pre-production, every single detail is meticulously mapped out, from storyboarding the script to scouting locations to casting the perfect actors. Next comes production, where the cameras finally roll and the actual execution happens. And finally, post-production is where the real magic comes together. Editors refine the footage, layer in the graphics, and perfectly sync the audio so the final ad is completely polished and ready to be unleashed on the world. Which brings us to Section 4, funding the message. Translating all these grand ideas into a polished campaign requires serious capital. So let's look at the financial machinery. A very common way businesses fund this whole shebang is through the percentage of sales method. Just think of a 5% rule. A business strictly allocates a flat 5% slice of its sales revenue directly to advertising efforts. So if a company makes $1 million in revenue, they automatically dedicate $50,000 to their ad budget. It's an incredibly straightforward calculation, but it's certainly not the only way to fund a campaign. In reality, budgeting strategies are all over the map. You've got the objective and task method, which is highly calculated. You figure out exactly what marketing goal you want to hit, and you price out the specific tasks required to get there. Then there's competitive parity, which is purely reactionary. Basically, you just spend whatever your rivals are spending to stay relevant in the market. And finally, there's the affordable method, which is actually considered quite dangerous. It completely ignores marketing objectives and just uses whatever cash is left over at the end of the day, which, as you might guess, often leads to totally underfunded campaigns. Finally, Section 5, Impact, Rules, and Ethics. With literally billions of dollars pouring into these highly persuasive campaigns, we have to climax this explainer by looking at the societal guardrails. Advertising leaves a massive footprint on our society. Economically, sure, ads stimulate demand and create a ton of jobs, despite how much they cost. Socially, they can reflect positive cultural values, but they also carry this immense danger of shaping harmful norms or totally unrealistic beauty standards. Ethically, the line really gets drawn when campaigns exploit consumers' vulnerabilities, like, say, using bright, fun cartoon characters to aggressively market sugary cereals directly to children, totally bypassing their critical thinking skills. It's an incredibly powerful tool, and it requires serious responsibility. So to prevent things from going off the rails, strict legal frameworks exist. Like over in India, for example, the Advertising Standards Council of India, or ASCI, enforces rigorous truth and honesty codes to make sure ads aren't deceptive. You've got the Cable Television Networks Act of 1995, which specifically prohibits obscenity. And legally, the Consumer Protection Act of 2019 empowers consumer courts to actively fight unfair trade practices and misleading representations. These guardrails are absolutely crucial to balance the immense persuasive power of the industry with the rights and safety of the public. So we've seen the strategies, the emotional appeals, the massive budgets, and the literal armies of architects working behind the scenes. The mechanics of influence are always running in the background. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought to challenge your own autonomy. The very next time you see a commercial, ask yourself, are you making the choice, or did the ad already decide for you? Thank you so much for joining me today, and stay curious.